Hello, my good friends. Darren Speaks here with you. Today, I'm going to be sharing with you a talk of the creation story, the Essene Creation Story, or sort of my understanding of it, mixed in with a bunch of other stuff. But originally today, I was going to be talking about chakras. But after thinking about how I would do this, it came to my mind that I couldn't teach you about chakras before teaching you about where they came from, which is the Tree of Life. But if I was to teach you about the Tree of Life, I would also need to teach you a bit about sacred geometry, which just happens to be a great way to wrap our heads around how spirit and consciousness moves and creates. So to do this, I thought it'd be best to start with a creation story. And so this is what this video is going to be about. And I'm going to be doing a creation story from the Essene's perspective. And I just want to say that they spent much of their time, the Essenes, they've been around since basically the inception of the Tree of Life on Earth. They've been around for a long time, but they've been heavily persecuted over the ages, and at times to the point of near extinction. But a remnant has always remained. So without further ado, while we are still able to share such truths, here is the Essene Creation Story, sort of my understanding of it. And I'm going to try and explain it the best that I can. But again, no, there's a lot more to it. And if you wanted to really get into the fullness of this, just message me down below and I'll show you where to find these texts that would go into more detail. And it's actually a beautiful writing as well. But so you can come ask me about those questions. Just leave a message in the comment. So the story starts in the transcendental realm, where the only thing that exists is Yah. Yah is the causeless cause. Many of you might feel more comfortable relating to Yah as the primordial I am. Yah is also known as one alone, for Yah is being and existence itself. There is no other. I want to clarify that the transcendental realm is unmanifested, and therefore Yah doesn't have a physical body. Yah is mind. We should also make it clear that Yah is neither masculine nor feminine, although both polarities are within the bosom of Yah. This is non-duality. Yah was aware of itself, and it knew itself to be being and existence itself. Yah also felt profound feelings of love and bliss and wanted to share this gift of being with others. But the only problem was that there was no others to share this gift with. Okay? And so Yah looked within itself into the infinite realm of possibilities known as Ein Sof. You can see that here in this picture, Ein Sof, the infinite realm of possibilities. Notice that Yah looked within itself. This is important to keep in mind. Now, I like to think of Ein Sof like our imaginations. For a minute, I would like us to think about the word imagine or imagination. Let's break it down a little bit. And I just want to let you know I'm going to be breaking off on these little side channels here so I can explain some things, because there's so much to learn when it comes to understanding religion and spirituality and words and all this stuff, especially in our time when there's so much censorship and they're making truth lies and lies are truth, and they're distorting everything. But anyway, let's look at this. The root of the word is imagine. So that we're looking at the word imagination. So the root of the word is imagine. Okay? But I like to also say I magician. We can also see that the word magi is in that word, okay? Comes out of that word. The magi in the Bible were known as the wise men, the three wise men, right? Who looked to the stars for signs, and they followed the signs of the stars, and it led them to the Christ. A wise man can also be likened to a wizard or a magician, okay? They're sort of like one and the same. And essentially, what a wizard or a magician are, somebody who's consciously aware of what they're actually creating in their everyday lives. They're consciously aware of it. And again, too, there can be good wizards and there can be bad wizards. There's good magic, there's white magic, and there's black magic. We need to clarify these things. As wise men or wizards are knowing ones. So that's really what a wizard is. A wizard or a wise man is a knowing one, or a being who is consciously aware of what they are creating. Essentially, Yah is like the Wizard of Oz, the great wizard, or the great magician. What do they say? Christ is the great physician, the healer, right? That's because love heals all things, or lifts up all things. Okay, now let's get back to our story. So Yah is now looking into Ein Sof within itself, right? And contemplated how it would create others. In fact, many others. Now, for unfathomable amounts of time, although time has not even been created yet, while looking into Ein Sof, the face of the divine feminine appeared to Yah, and her name was Jah-La, the transcendental goddess. She was the most beautiful, and Yah said, "This is how I shall create with Jah-La, the transcendental goddess. And the way of creation will be sexual in nature." So at this point here, so we have the divine feminine now created. Now at this point, Yah was neither male nor female. But in the moment that Yah gazed upon Jah-La, the divine feminine, Yah took up the role of divine masculine and called himself Jah, God transcendental. So at this point, now, we have the transcendental trinity. Again, transcendental. Okay, we're not talking about in the universe, we're talking in the transcendental realm. We have the transcendental trinity, Yah, the transcendental God, Jah, and the transcendental goddess, Jah-La. A short name to refer to Jah and Jah-La is Jah-Jah. Again, I suggest that you get a pen and paper out and take down notes, or you're probably going to have to watch this over to get this in your head, to get because I know I'm probably sharing with you new names of deities, and I just want to say too right now that we shouldn't be getting caught up on different names of deities. We just need to understand how consciousness is unfolding, to understand, to make actual sense how our creation came to be. Anyway, I want to make clear that both Jah and Jah-La are crowned in Yah, and therefore they also contain Ein Sof within them as well. We should know that all beings have Yah within them, for Yah is being itself. We are just in the form of human being. The very fact that we have being in us tells us that we have Yah in us, because Yah is being itself. We should also understand that this is all happening within the mind of Yah, which reminds me of the very first of the 7 universal laws called the law of mentalism. An axiom for the law of mentalism is: the all is mind, the universe is mental, held in the mind of the all. So all of creation is happening in the mind of Yah. It's almost like we are living in Yah's dream. where Yah is the architect of the dream, creating all the universal laws within the dream that allow life and existence to be. This also makes me think of things that Jesus said, like, love your neighbor as yourself, for your neighbor is yourself. All is one, and there is no separation. He also said things like, if you give a cup of water to the least of these, you have given a cup of water to me. So the law of mentalism supports what I'm explaining here, that the all is in absolutely everything. Okay, back to the story. So here we are with the transcendental trinity, with a sphere of awareness around them. The next step is called tizim, tizum, which sounds like some magical word, which means self-constriction. And that's exactly what they did. They constricted themselves into a tiny dot, so to speak, leaving a large sphere around them known as the mother ovum, or the container that we understand to be the universe. I want you to think about a mother with her baby inside of her belly. This is exactly what the mother ovum is. It's the place where life is created and grows. Here, Jah will place their only begotten children within the mother ovum, or universe, which means one verse. Thinking like this is putting to use the law of correspondence to help us have a greater understanding beyond ourselves. An axiom for the universal law of correspondence is, as above, so below. As below, so above. As within, so without. And as without, so within. As it is on the highest plane, so it is on the lowest plane. To know one is to know all. From one, know all. Back to the story. First Jah spoke the holy word, and its only begotten son came into existence. His name is Jade, Emmanuel, or God with us, meaning God within the universe. On earth, most would know him by the name of Jesus or Yahshua. Some say Yeshua. Again, we shouldn't be getting caught up on word labels. Then Jah exhaled one holy breath, and her only begotten daughter came into existence. Her name is Jah, Emmanuela, or goddess with us, for she is goddess within the universe. On earth, you may know her as Miriam or Mary Magdalene. Jade and Jannah together can be referred to as Elohim. They are God and Goddess, eminent or with us. Now at this point, we have what is known as the first family, or the Christ family, known as Yahweh, which literally means father, mother, son, daughter, all crowned in Yah. And that's exactly what we have. We have Yah at the top. Then we have Jah, the transcendental God. Then we have Jah, which is the transcendental goddess. Then we have the only begotten son of Jah, which is Jade, or also known as Yahshua or Jesus. And we also have the only begotten daughter of Jah, who is Jannah, which is goddess eminent, and we would know her on earth as Mary Magdalene. So that is the very first family. I just want to say in a quick note here, we can all be part of the Christ family. As you get deeper into Essene teachings, you will learn more of the details on how to become a disciple and what it actually means to be part of the Christ family. It is a choice that we make not only by words, but by actions and how we live our lives. Elohim didn't create robots. We are free to either embrace the Lord and Lady Christ, or we can reject them. When we look at the Hebrew text of Yahweh, the tip point upon each letter is Yah, that little point at the top, as we can see there, or the I am. Every soul being created has Yah within them. So understand that is inside of you. Yah is within you, the causeless cause. And inside of Yah is the infinite realm of possibilities known as Ein Sof. That's like your imagination. Next, Jah created the golden ladder of being, which rises from the bottom of the mother ovum to the top of the mother ovum, where all beings can choose to ascend to the top and pierce the mother ovum, and entering into heaven most high to be with the transcendental God and Goddess. So now Jah will rise up the ladder to heaven most high. They will remain outside of the mother ovum to give life to it. For if they didn't, all life within the universe would die. But know that this golden ladder of being is connected with every being. It is literally the center branch and tap root of the tree of life, which not only runs through the universe, but also within every being, including yourself. The universe, in one sense, is holographic in nature. That's right. The tree of life is within you. Actually, the book of life is within you too. That's why you need to read yourself, to come to know thyself. And you are not separate from God and Goddess. To the degree that we live our lives in harmony with Jah, or the universal laws, we rise up or fall upon the golden ladder of being. This is likened to climbing up the branches of the tree of life. In a later talk, I will discuss that each of the branches and roots of the tree of life deal with different energies. And where they join together, they create energy vortexes called chakras. I also want to bring to your attention that we all have free will to align ourselves with Jah or not. We will reap what we sow. This is the sixth universal law known as the law of cause and effect. An axiom for the law of cause and effect is every cause has its effect, and every effect has its cause. Everything happens according to law. Chance is but a name for law not recognized. Okay, back to the story. Sorry, we're getting off there all the time, but these are important things to understand. It's to help you get that part of your mind actually working, so you can actually discern things to be true and have spiritual vision. So now we have Jah in heaven most high, outside of the mother ovum, giving life to the universe, and their only begotten children within the mother ovum, who are the actual creators of the physical universe and the creators of all soul beings. Before I get into how Elohim creates the physical universe and souls, take note that Yahshua and Mary Magdalene are eternal consorts before the world was even created. They are the two that are one and the one that are two. To reject the divine feminine is also to reject Christ himself, as they are one. So if you can imagine now that Jah, being God and masculine energy, is looking at Jana, goddess, feminine energy, and they want to embrace each other, as masculine energy is attracted to feminine energy. We have the dualistic universe about to be created through the sacred geometrical dance of creation. I also want to draw your attention to the fact that this is electromagnetism. Have you ever boosted a car with battery cables and accidentally touched the cables together? What happens? If you don't know, I'll tell you. You get sparks. You get light. The only way to get light is by bringing together masculine and feminine energies. This is how our dualistic universe works. There are laws that make it so. Even when a man and a woman come together during intercourse, they produce an orgasmic explosion of energy, or the Big Bang. As above, so below. As within, so without. So what you can understand in one area, it's happening in other areas. This is how everything works. So you know more than you think you know. You just got to learn how to see things. This is essentially what happened when Elohim came together. In the Bible it says, and God said, let there be light. In this statement, in biblical terms, it is a bit deceiving, as God only refers to the masculine energy. And we know we need both masculine and feminine energies to produce light. The Hebrew word for God is Elohim, which is plural, meaning more than one. Understanding that light was created, we know that Goddess was involved in this action of creating light. Unfortunately, our world has rejected our goddess, Mary Magdalene, trying to hide the truth. Remember, to reject goddess is also to reject God, for they are one. The two that are one and the one that are two. So let's look at what happens when a sphere of masculine energy enters into or touches feminine energy using sacred geometry, as this is how God and Goddess created everything. In this picture, you can see the two spheres overlapping each other, and it gives us the sign that looks like the fish of the Jesus sign. This is also known as the Vesica Pisces, which means light. And this action that happened with let there be light. The Vesica Pisces also represents the seeing eye. There is really so much more to learn with sacred geometry, but we don't have time to go into that, all the details. There's so much information here. Anyways, from here, Elohim continues to move together in the perfect sacred geometrical dance of creation. The first pattern created is known as the seed of life, or Genesis pattern, showing the 6 days of creation. If you continue the circles for another rotation around, you end up coming to the flower of life. Out of the flower of life comes the Kabbalistic tree of life. Okay, so we can see here the flower of life, and then we can see the blue thing here. This is what in Kabbalah, this is what the tree of life looks like. So this is happening in the universe. Through the whole universe, we have this tree of life created. There's like an energetic pathway that moves through the whole universe. And so this would be likened to like this Norse mythology picture of the tree of life in the universe, right? That's where they get that idea comes from. But take a look here at this, even how with a tree. Look at the roots of the tree coming down, and the branches up top. But then look at the human nervous system as well. The human nervous system has the same pattern. This is what it means that as above, so below, as within, so without, is because once you understand how something works in one area, it's happening in all areas. Maybe not exactly, but similar in nature. So we can, once we have an understanding of something, we can extrapolate that to literally see beyond what we understand, what's beyond what we can actually see. So anyways, this is as far as we really need to go to show you how the tree of life was created from nothing and brought into existence. But if we go a bit further with this sacred geometry, we can then see how matter itself came into existence. Take a look at this picture of an ovary cell and notice the zona pellucida. And in the same way, again, we have the container of the universe. That's essentially what a cell is. and all the stuff inside would be all the different beings and worlds inside. Again, as above, so below, as within, so without. This is how it works. Anyway, now here is the flower of life once again. But notice the rings around the outside. Yes, the flower of life also has the zona pellucida on it as well. But the real secret happens when we remove the rings of the zona pellucida from the flower of life. Okay? Get this picture here, right? Then we can finish the circles, finish drawing the circles of the outer ring, which brings us to the fruit of life. The fruit of life is the details of how reality was created. The fruit of life is female, and it only has curved lines, the curvy lines of the female, right? And masculine lines are straight boxes. So you can see here all the curved lines, all the circles, they're all feminine lines. But if we add straight lines or masculine energy from the center of every circle to every other circle, we come to what is known as Metatron's cube, one of the basic creation patterns in existence. Okay. Now, also from the sacred geometrical dance of our creators, God and Goddess, they created what's known as the 5 platonic solids. From here, all physical matter was formed. Now let's take a look at these 5 platonic solids. So basically, all these shapes, they all are all coming out of sacred geometry. But what you need to know is that each of these points, you can put this inside of a circle, inside of a sphere, and every single point will touch the edges of the sphere, so that they all fit inside there. And that's where we get fire, air, earth, water, and ether. Okay? And that's that. So anyway, here we're getting near the end of the video now. I just wanted to, on one last note, I want to say that I know that there is a lot of confusion when it comes to talking about God. There are so many different perceptions. Hopefully what I showed you today makes logical sense to you. I would also like to clarify something. As I have explained in the above creation story, it is Yahweh or the Christ family who are the creators of all souls and the physical universe and all the universal laws that allow life to actually occur in the universe. With that being said, we must understand that all of us have Yah within us and are children of God. And if we are children of God and Goddess, that would make us gods ourselves. Even in biblical texts, it says that ye are gods. I also want to clarify that as soul beings, we didn't create ourselves. We were created. We have a creator. We are not the causeless cause. And we are not only begotten children, directly begotten children of the transcendental God and Goddess. We are soul beings and we do have a creator. Although Yah is within us, and the Yah that is within us is the causeless cause, as the universe is literally holographic in nature. Just like the tree of life runs through the entire universe, it's running through the center of you. So as you make adjustments in yourself and you center yourself, you're also centering yourself in the big tree of life. This is the spark divine. Yah is the spark divine, or the I am. So when we learn how to identify with the spark within us, the spark of divinity within us, that's when we start to walk, in Christ consciousness, and we start to walk as the I am, literally becoming the hands and feet of our Lord and Lady Christ. We literally become Christed beings. I also want to say that there are beings in the universe who have rejected the Lord and Lady Christ. And these beings some of them are very, very smart. I wouldn't say that they're wise, because wise beings create life, and they're not parasitic in nature. But there are beings in the universe who have learned how to manipulate matter. They've learned how to create bodies or avatars, and they attract different souls into them. There are beings who want to create worlds or realms for themselves so that they can lord over other source beings. We need to understand that. And we need to be careful where we're at, as our world is under a massive attack right now as we speak. Anyway, these beings are not in alignment with the Lord and Lady Christ. Some of them have even impersonated Yahweh to deceive the masses. And so we can see a lot of things like blood sacrifice and that have to do with killing and hurting and all that stuff. And I got to tell you right now, blood sacrifice and killing and all that stuff, anything that has to do with hurting other beings or yourself, or that doesn't, or it's not associated with love and life, is not of the Lord and Lady Christ. The Lord and Lady Christ are centered in love, which leads to life. And all the universal laws, when we are centered and we learn how to balance them and balance our chakras, we can center ourselves, and to the degree that we center ourselves, we'll have a better relationship with our creators. Any behaviors that are destructive to yourself or other beings, including animals, is not in alignment with the ways of the Lord and Lady Christ. When you follow their example, you will ascend in love and consciousness up the golden ladder of being. Anyway, that's it for this video. I hope you enjoyed. Please feel free to ask me any questions you might have, and I'll try to answer to the best of my ability. Namaste and blessings to you. Bye-bye.